Well, hello, it's Pastor Smith. We've got another devotion today as we're getting really close to wrapping up the 10 Commandments. We're on the 9th commandment today. And in my catechism, it actually has the 9th and 10th commandments grouped together because these are the coveting commandments. I'm going to do a devotion here today on the 9th one, and then Pastor Josh on the 10th one. He's probably coveting not getting to go first here because he's going to be left with whatever scraps I leave him to talk about on these 9th and 10th commandments. But the 9th commandment, there's a lot of overlap here, as you'll see. But it says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house." What does this mean? We should fear and love God so that we do not scheme to get our neighbor's inheritance or house or get it in a way which only appears right, but help and be of service to him in keeping it. One of the things I was taught, is that the 9th and 10th commandments pretty much are very similar. I was taught though with the house, it's like, well, it's kind of like the house and everything else in it there too. So you could lump in other possessions as well. When it comes to the 9th commandment, it's telling us that coveting is a sin, which is that sinful desire of wanting to take something that someone else has. So it's like coveting versus contentment. Contentment would be the opposite of coveting. And whenever I think about contentment, coveting, this entire topic, my mind always goes to Philippians chapter 4. And so I want to read just part of that here today and then offer just some thoughts on it. So the Apostle Paul is writing here. I'll start in verse 4 of Philippians 4. He says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I will say rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." I'm going to skip down a little bit then to verse 10. But you see, he's talking about rejoicing, being in prayer, also having thanksgiving. And then he says, "I rejoice in the Lord greatly that now at length you have revived your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me." That's the secret right there, right? That we have to rely on Christ, trust in him during the times of plenty, during the times of hunger, during the times when we're brought low or when we're abounding. That's the secret of being content. And he says he had to learn this. This is not something that is built into us. What's built into us is coveting and wanting to take what doesn't belong to us and always being discontent with what we have. But what is the gift of God, the teaching that God can provide that we can learn over time is to be content, to be thankful, to pray, to rejoice in all the things that he has done for us, and even the material things, the basic things that he gives to us in our lives that we need. It's coveting happens basically when you open your eyes and you look around and you say, "Oh man, I want that, and I don't have that, and I don't have as much as this person, and that person's life looks better than mine. I'm not content." But Paul had a pretty rough time of things in his life, and he's saying that it's all about trusting in Christ, and Christ gives you the strength and the ability that we don't have on our own to actually be content. So 9th commandment always makes me think of Philippians chapter 4 and wise words where Paul directs us to Christ for true and lasting contentment. So reflect upon these things today and pray that God will teach you to be content